to do really well. If version 1 does really well too, it's going to make the top 5 hunt really interesting. So
man, this is crazy.
It is crazy. I think for NRG, it's really it really stinks for them that Optic did so well, because I feel like Optic and Furia are probably the 2 teams that they're going to be racing. But with the way that this bracket has been going, you really have no luck predicting. I mean, it's really hard to make deep runs and have all the best teams finish at the top. So sometimes you'll have good teams lose early, go down into the lower bracket, knock people out, and then they'll still go out a little bit earlier than expected themselves.
Yeah, so Furia, G2, Shopify are really the teams that Energy needs to do poorly. I mean, obviously along with the other teams who are tied in points with Energy. So, I mean, Furia and G2 specifically need to kind of bottom out pretty early. Shopify, they have a little bit of a leeway there with the extra 2 points, because that even every point matters. But this is going to be a tough run today, regardless, for all teams, not just Energy.
Oh yes, you're 100% right, Sis. And this is really coming to a head right now. I think for NRG, they're going to have that performance today. This is when it matters. If NRG gets knocked out again today, like they did last week, then it's pretty much the season. So anyway, also everyone wondering why I'm rocking the shades today. Well, I just was inspired by the Energizer Bunny, as you can kind of see over in Siz's camera. Same one, just rocking the shades. Okay, gotta feel good, gotta look good to play well. And here we go. We're already hopping into the game, and now Space Station against NRG, the first round. This is do or die for NRG, Sis.
Yeah, and I mean, you watched the most recent gameplay. I'm most comfortable for what last time we saw Energy play. Last time, I just really wish they would play a little bit faster. So we'll see how it goes today. You told me Garrett G popped off. That's good to see, because if Garrett's playing well, then that's all you. That's like your centerpiece is taken care of. Now you need the other 2 around you to assist you and make the plays, so Garrett can just feel comfortable in his own little. Because Garrett's solid, he's consistent, and Twishy and Justin are like your outlying factors for randomness into being peaking or not peaking. And Justin immediately scores.
And this is actually huge for NRG. So it says in the last games, I mean, NRG was doing pretty well offensively, but overall, I mean, Garrett was having to do a lot of offensive heavy lifting. Justin was getting a lot of bumps in demos in the closed qualifier, so it's great to see Justin getting activated early, scoring that first goal against a Space Station team who I would say, honestly, performed. Hold on. What a Squishy had that red. That was a fantastic read by Squishy. But as I was saying, Space Station really outperforming a ton of people's expectations. Hoxer, he made the World Championship back in Season 8. When NRG won the World Championship. And, really hasn't had as much success since then. And it looks like a pause has come through. Not really sure if a pause has come through or the computer has frozen.
Yeah,
totally. It is one of the above. Am I still live? Sis, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It seems like our production is MIA at the moment.
All right,
never mind. We are okay. I think it is a pause.
Is it okay? It has to be a pause. So we're going to figure out what's going on there. But already a good start for NRG. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Justin. But for Space Station, I haven't had as much time to think about it, but I'm trying to think if, them going deep is a good or a bad thing. And I'm really for NRG chances at the major, because you wonder if Space Station takes a bunch of these points and they go out early, maybe they were honeymooning last event. If they go out early, that could be a good thing for NRG. So, it's the big question in my mind is this Space Station team really as legit as we saw the last event where they finished top 4? And I think this series is going to be a big indicator of whether that's true or not.
I think the SSG team was pretty solid. I mean, I didn't see too much of this series. I was just kind of watching on the side in between our games. But, I mean, if they're going to make it through that far and on a quick roster change like that, Hoxer's always been an established.
Since the channel hijack, I have been inundated with Facebook ads for the Fix Me Stick. They claim it will remove viruses, clean my computer, and even get my Windows running like new, all in about 20 minutes. Those are some pretty bold claims, but their company got offers from all 4 of the investors on the Canadian version of Shark Tank back in 2014. They're sold on the shopping channel, and they're still around nearly 10 years later. They must be doing something right. How is it that I've never heard of them then? Inundated with Facebook ads, they're sold on the shopping channel. Right. This thing ain't aimed at me or you. They're targeting our parents, our aunts, and our friends who keep asking for help tracking down the elusive AnyKey. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Maybe it's a great option for those of us who are techie enough to fix our family's computers, but would rather that they just buy this and leave us alone so we can play video games. To find out, we bought one. Actually, we bought 3. And I think you're going to be surprised to learn exactly what they do and what they don't do. For example, none of them were capable of making this segue to our sponsor, Build Redux. With Build Redux, you can dominate your favorite games with the perfect PC for you, using simple-to-navigate customization options, all at a price that's competitive with building it yourself. Check the Stick is a bootable virus removal device that's designed to find and remove any malware that's managed to slip past your PC's defenses, which is not as rare as you might think. 500,000 new pieces of malware are discovered daily, and the makers of the Fix Me Stick claim that it finds malware on more than 80% of the computers scanned, even though virtually all of them were already running some other form of antivirus. Their main value is the user-friendly interface that they've wrapped around a bootable Linux image that needs almost no input from the user. You just boot from the stick, accept the license, and the Fix Me Stick will automatically connect to the internet, ask you to register, which you can skip by the way. Check for updates, load up not 1, not 2, but 3 antivirus engines, Avira, Sophos, and McAfee, and then get right to scanning with all 3 of them at the same time. While that's running, I guess, I should tell you about our test system. We took 1 part Windows 10 test bench and added a few dozen drops of threats you'd expect any decent antivirus engine to flag. You know, various forms of the iCar anti-malware tests, along with some very real, though relatively harmless malware. Not a huge challenge, but definitely enough to prove that each of those 3 antivirus engines is actually doing something. As advertised, about 20 minutes later, the scans were done and the Fix Me Stick was asking for input. The default action is to remove all malware found, but you can also pick what happens with each flagged file. In our not terribly scientific testing, the Fix Me Stick caught more than 90% of our threat files, with the majority spotted by all 3 engines. But with that said, each one engine did miss things that were caught by at least one of the others, which I guess answers the question of why does it need to run all 3? We also tested the Fix Me Stick against a Medicat USB stick to see if A, the Fix Me Stick would scan removable media at all, and B, to see if it would flag useful tools as malware. As expected, we did get false positives on some of our system utilities, but this did show us that, yes, removable media is automatically scanned alongside your operating system drive. In fact, by default, Fix Me Stick scans all files on all partitions, whether they're on removable drives or not. You can change that behavior, and some other basic options on the settings screen, where you can also remove items from quarantine, and even subject yourself to some targeted marketing, if you're into that sort of thing. This smooth experience doesn't come for free though. 1 year's use of Fix Me Stick on up to 3 PCs is going to set you back $80 US, whereas 2 years on 5 PCs is $30 more for a total of $110. That is not an insignificant amount. However, you're not necessarily stuck paying that much. It can often be found cheaper in your local big box store, and they have a 30-day not an insignificant amount. However, you're not necessarily stuck paying that much. It can often be found cheaper in your local big box store, and they have a 30-day...
Not bad. Anyway.
buy malware, it can't do anything to clean up a full drive, repair broken Windows files, or sort out misconfigured settings. This isn't a technician on a stick, it's just an antivirus tool. As many of you I know are probably dying to contribute right now, you can make one of these on your own for free. There are plenty of bootable anti-malware tools out there that you can just slap onto your USB stick and run. Insert disclaimer about us not having validated their efficacy, so your mileage may vary. But the main issue with all of them, for Joe or for Jill average, is that they're just not as polished as this. And they're not as fast. You will likely need to manually update your virus definitions before you run a scan, and the scan itself takes longer too. Then when it's done, you're gonna have to run more tools to catch whatever's been missed. For me or for you, that's no big deal, but for many people, time is money, and tinkering with computers isn't something that they do for pleasure, which is why I guess Fix Me Stick has found the market. It's not cheap, but it does cost less than a visit to the local computer shop for virus removal, and having something that you can just hand to Aunt Susie that's gonna just work on a simple infection could be worth it for her. She might even be so grateful she gets you a new PCMR hoodie from lttstore.com. Where Fix Me Stick really offers bang for the buck though is the Back Me Up edition. $20 more gets you a 64 gig USB stick that also automatically backs up files from the user's folder of your system drive after scanning them, giving you at least a little bit of protection if you later get hit with something that the Fix Me Stick cannot resolve, something like a ransomware attack. This may actually be the simplest method that we've seen for making a backup for an average user's PC. By default, it backs up pretty much everything that a casual user might be storing, though we did notice some glaring omissions, like Photoshop's PSD format, so if you're beyond a casual user, or if you need more than 64 gigs of storage, you might want to tweak the settings to include other extensions or to target additional folders. By that point, you might as well pick up a larger external drive and then just use the only slightly more complicated tools that are built right into Windows or macOS. We also looked at their Start Me stick, and to many of you, this is going to look like a pretty old idea. A simple, bootable operating system that just works on any old hardware. For the folks buying Fix Me Sticks though, this might as well be magic. Now Grandpa can get on Facebook and check his email with things feeling nice and zippy with a lightweight operating system and a modern browser. He can even use it on any PC, so he can take it with him when he travels. But there are some problems. For one thing, it's a read-only system, which means you can't screw up the OS by downloading something nasty, but on the other hand, it means that any new bookmarks or files are going to simply vanish on reboot, and it doesn't give the user any indication that that's going to happen. As you're using it, it looks like it's done what you've told it to do. Your downloads and your bookmarks hang out in temporary storage while the OS is running, but unless you add a separate external drive for storage and sign into a Google account for your bookmarks, all of it will disappear. Even worse is the fact that this means it cannot update itself. For updates, you have to boot into Windows, run the updater for your Start Me stick, then boot back into your live OS. Convenient. The second big issue is that it's $80 and it expires if your subscription expires. Why? Anybody watching this one really is easy. Could Google something like persistent live USB and follow a guide, or just download Rufus and drag the slider to the right to create a similar bootable USB stick, and that one would even let Grandpa save files in his home drive, all for the cost of a USB stick and anywhere from 10 minutes to a couple hours of time. And it would never cost you anything for updates. Or, if you just wanted to skip all of that, you could just put a simple Linux install on the system's hard drive in the first place, improving Grandpa's performance without the need for unreliable USB boot. So then, Fix Me Stick's product line is something of a mixed thing. A bootable antivirus that's simple enough for almost anyone to use is actually useful. And when paired with automatic backups, it might even be something that I would recommend to the less tech-savvy user. But at the same time, the pricing is pretty spicy. Their marketing ranges from optimistic to downright unacceptable. And whatever they might say, these tools aren't and never will be a replacement for a complicated. They're also not a replacement for our sponsors.
Micro Center. They've renamed August to Build Your Own Month in honor of the dozens of amazing new discounts on their site. Not sure if they have the legal right to do that, but here we are. New customers can get $25 off their purchase of $100 or more in store, and if you submit any custom build to their build showcase, you can get an additional $25 off coupon upon approval. If you're new to PC building, Micro Center's professional staff can help you pick your parts and even build your PC all within your ideal budget. Now you might look around and think, uh-oh, I don't see any Micro Centers near me. That might change. Their Indianapolis store just opened, they have a new Charlotte location opening early 2024, and 2 more stores are in the works. So check out Micro Center this Build Your Own month and get a sneak peek at their new Charlotte location at the links below. I'm gonna miss saying August.
If you enjoyed this video, you might be interested in the video we did a couple years back, testing how antivirus programs impact your system's performance. You can find that at the link down below. The last thing that... Alright. If I want this person to like me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to be into the stuff that they're into. Right? So if this person is into metal bands, I'm going to pretend to like, oh, I love metal too. So you kind of become this chameleon in life where you don't have your own... If I want this person to like me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to be into the stuff that they're into. Right? So if this person is into metal bands, I'm going to pretend to like, oh, I love metal too. So you kind of become this chameleon in life where you don't have your own joys, preferences, desires. You kind of adapt and absorb the desires of other people. All right, so let's talk a little bit about borderline personality disorder today. So borderline personality disorder, I think, is one of the most misunderstood and stigmatized disorders out there. A couple of the most common misconceptions are, first of all, borderline personality disorder is like permanent, right? Because when we think about certain illnesses, these are things that happen to you. So something like anxiety is something that happens to you, and hopefully with treatment or therapy or medication can be cured. But when we talk about personality disorders like borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, we think about these things as part of your personality, which means if they're part of your personality, you're kind of screwed because it's like who you are. So that, thankfully, isn't true. The other big thing about borderline personality disorder is that these people tend to be stigmatized very, very, very heavily. So sometimes it's very hard to form and maintain relationships. People with BPD are oftentimes viewed as manipulative and very prone to doing things like lying and stuff like that. Will be sort of very emotionally contentious. And the last thing with BPD is that they tend to be very poorly characterized in media. So if you look at things like the crazy ex-girlfriend, this is something that's usually viewed as BPD. So what I'd love to do today is talk to y'all a little bit about what BPD looks like from the outside. So what other people see when they look at someone who has BPD. What BPD feels like on the inside. So what are sort of some of the subjective experiences of people who struggle with BPD? We're then going to talk a little bit about the formation of borderline personality disorder, i.e. where does it come from? Is it genetic? Is it in your brain? Is it controllable? Is it psychological? And then we're going to end with sort of talking a little bit about treatment and prognosis. So are there treatments for BPD? Do they work? What can I expect if I have it? So let's start first with talking a little bit about what does it look like from the outside. So people with BPD tend to have, there are 3 sort of big things that people tend to see with people who have BPD. The first is a pattern of unstable relationships. So what this sort of means is that people with BPD can become really, really good friends with other people, very quickly. They can sort of fall into something like, oh, I've never played guitar, but now I'm going to join a band and I'm going to play guitar and we're going to go touring.
for 3 months all over the U.S. and it's going to be fantastic. We're going to go over the world. So they can fall into things really quickly. They can also like fall into romantic relationships really quickly. Like I met this person a week ago, and now we're talking about moving in. The problem is that these kinds of relationships tend to be really unstable. So it's very, very high octane, high speed, but also like things crash pretty easily. Yeah, I moved out of my apartment, I bought a guitar, I've been touring for a month, and now there's all kinds of interpersonal conflict. Or I moved in with this person 2 months in, and now we're fighting all the time. So they tend to have what people sort of see from the outside is that this person, it's hard for them to maintain stable relationships over time. The second thing that we tend to find is that they have, if you look at this person, what you're going to see is strong emotional reactions. So this can be very frustrating from a relationship standpoint because if you're in a relationship with someone with BPD, romantic, platonic, family, or any of the above, you may find that small things that you do will evoke strong negative reactions. So for example, like let's say you forget a friend's birthday, and then what's going to happen is the friend will get really, really upset with you. And they'll like start like doing all this weird kind of stuff where they're like, you ask them, hey, what's wrong? And they're like, oh, nothing's wrong. But you can tell that something's wrong, but they kind of like won't communicate it to you. So you'll see strong emotional reactions. Like if you get the wrong birthday present, maybe they'll sort of explode. Or what you'll kind of see is that if you start to pull away, if you don't talk to them quite as much, like they'll start to engage in a lot of what feels like manipulative behavior or guilt tripping or gaslighting to try to get you to kind of re-engage. If you're friends with someone who has BPD, and maybe you experience this as well, sometimes there will also be like benign things that will cause you to feel really, really angry or really, really ashamed of yourself or really, really guilty. But there's essentially a strong emotional. The last thing that we tend to see kind of from the outside of someone with BPD is that this is someone who may not really understand entirely who they are. They get really excited about stuff, but they don't seem to have a consistent trajectory in life. They may get excited by particular things very easily, but if you sort of ask them, like, who are you, what do you want from life, sometimes they'll be able to give you answers, right? They'll say things like, the only thing I want from life is you. I just want you. I just want you. I just want you. But that's not really, that's not them, right? They sort of almost have this distorted sense of self-image. So that's sort of what borderline personality disorder can look like from the outside. Once we move to internally, so what is the subjective experience of people with BPD? So the first is that they tend to have a fear of abandonment. And what that sort of means is that if you have BPD, what people with BPD are oftentimes afraid of is screwing up relationships. They're really, really afraid that, like, if I say the wrong thing or if I do the wrong thing, that I'll drive this person away. They really do believe, like, people are going to leave them. People are waiting to leave them. People are looking for any kind of excuse to leave them. And if you have those kinds of thoughts, like, oh my God, like, this person is looking for an excuse to break up with me. We've been dating for 6 years, and since the 3rd month, they've been looking for an excuse. They've been looking for an excuse. That's what your subjective experience is like if you have BPD. And so oftentimes what it feels like is that relationships are incredibly, incredibly stressful because you're walking this tightrope of if you seem too clingy, they're going to break up with you. If you seem too standoffish enough, they're going to break up with you. And this isn't just, we're sort of using romantic examples here, but this is also in like family relationships. So if you have like a parent-child relationship with BPD, this is the kind of thing where your parents are terrified that you're going to leave you. Or you're going to be terrified that your parents will, marry someone else and then like abandon you, and they're going to be like, they're going to have stepkids, and they're going to love their stepkids more than they love you. Or if you're the parent, you're afraid that your kids are going to leave the house and then they'll never call you again. They hate to come home for Christmas, which oftentimes happens, right? Because you use them to meet your emotional needs, which we'll get to in a second. So what we sort of see is that there's a fear of abandonment. But subjectively, what that feels like is sort of a fear that you're going to screw up relationships and that these people are going to leave you. The other thing that's really interesting about the subjective experience of people with BPD is something that I think we really lack compassion for, because some of the behaviors that people with BPD exhibit can be so frustrating, is that their internal emotional experience hurts so fucking much. So people with borderline personality disorder, their experience of life can be incredibly painful. So I want y'all to kind of think about it this way, where like I can rip a Band-Aid off, and that's like, it hurts for a few seconds, like maybe it hurts for maybe 10 seconds, and it's like a 6 out of 10 pain. But if I've got BPD, the pain signals of life, especially emotional pain, are actually amplified. So things like breakups will actually, like almost in an objective way, we're talking about subjective, but if you kind of rate the emotional pain from a breakup, and if you take two people, one person with BPD, one person without BPD, it'll hurt way more for the person with BPD. So it's almost like their nerves are on fire when it comes to emotional pain. So it can almost be really confusing for people with BPD because they recognize that this life feels harder than what my other friends are kind of going through. That I've had 3 friends, they all, let's say, went through a romantic breakup, and they're able to bounce back after like 2 to 6 months. But 1 year later, I'm still feeling so hurt over this kind of thing. And this sort of complicates relationships because what ends up happening is that I don't get over it, right? So I'm hurting, and normally like 2 months after a relationship, people give me a lot of support, but then they get tired of it after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months. And so then what ends up happening is that like people stop supporting me emotionally because I kind of need more emotional support because it actually hurts more than the average person. The other very common experience in BPD is subjective feelings of emptiness. So this is where we kind of like, you kind of feel like empty on the inside. Like you don't really know who you are. You don't really know what you want from life. A lot of times the goals that you set are just to get rid of the pain. It's not necessarily moving towards something, it's moving away from something. So what I really want is I want to get rid of this loneliness. And I'm even willing to get back together with my abusive partner because unless they're around, I feel really untethered in life. And I feel kind of empty on the inside. I don't really know who I am. The last thing that oftentimes happens with people with BPD is that they'll sometimes dissociate or disconnect from life. And this is probably a neurologic coping mechanism where since there is so much pain that we experience subjectively, and we'll get to the neuroscience of why this happens in a minute, what they end up actually doing is like detaching or dissociating from that pain, and they kind of feel disconnected. And if you kind of think about it, that relates to the feeling of emptiness, because the more that I disconnect from myself, the harder it is to discover who I am. So in terms of the subjective experience of BPD, the 4 kind of most common things that I've seen as a clinician. First is a fear of abandonment. Second is just really intense emotional suffering. Like as a clinician, I think my patients with BPD emotionally suffer more than the ones without BPD. And I know that's sort of a comparative statement, and I'm not saying that someone who has
I can't hear the good do at all. What is wrong with my concern? Oh, it broke. Browser broke. behaviors, the more outcomes get worse for people with BPD. So the first thing that they tend to do is engage in impulsive behaviors, right? So this goes back to the, like, I'm going to fall deeply, deeply in love with this person because I'm going to feel such an emotional high hanging out with them. This is the best person. Even though my last 10 relationships have been train wrecked, this person feels different. This person truly loves me. This is real love. This is what everyone's talking about in the movies. So I'm going to move on in with them. So we see a lot of impulsive behavior. There's also high correlations with eating disorders in BPD. We also see self-harm behaviors, which I think are really interesting because self-harm behaviors aren't always suicidal in nature. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. Self-injurious behavior and suicidal ideation are not always the same thing. Suicidal ideation is when I want to kill myself and end my life, which, by the way, people at BPD are very high risk of. So that's a very real risk. But the self-injurious behavior doesn't necessarily correlate with that. When I've worked with patients who have BPD, when I ask them, why do you cut, or why do you burn, or why do you do self-injurious behavior, what I tend to find is that it's almost a meditative practice for them. I'm not advocating for doing that, but if you ask them, okay, when do you cut? Well, I cut when I feel emotionally really, when the pain gets so intense on the inside, and I'm so unloved. If I start cutting, that pain, the pain of the physical sensation of the cut, actually knocks the emotional pain and the fear of loneliness and abandonment out of my mind. It's a very intense focusing technique. And even if you look at the methods of self-injurious behavior that people usually engage in, it's oftentimes things that are not damaging to the body, but actually experience the highest amount of pain. So if we look at people who cut in BPD, what they tend to do is very superficial cuts. They don't do deep cuts, they're not trying to hurt themselves. But if you look at the superficial part of the skin, that's when we actually have very sensitive nerves. So we have these nerves that will do light touch. So you can just do a very light touch and you can feel it, right? Even if you think about tickling, right? It's a very light touch, evokes a lot of response. So a lot of pain, actually, if you sort of focus on just on the very surface, the intensity of the pain is actually higher. So they'll engage in self-injurious behaviors. We'll also see substance use disorders as being very comorbid with BPD. And what's that about? It's, once again, I'm feeling so much pain on the inside, I want to forget it, right? And if I get high, if I get drunk, if I use some kind of drugs, then it's going to make all that pain go away. And the last kind of behavior that we'll sort of see from people who have BPD is what from the outside looks like manipulative behavior. And we'll kind of get into that in a second. But essentially what happens is that there are different ways I can deal with feeling empty or bad on the inside. And one of the ways I can feel better is to feel loved by someone else, right? So if I'm feeling very abandoned and I do something that evokes love and caring from other people, then I'll feel better about myself. So these are some common behaviors which oftentimes create all kinds of problems in the lives of people who struggle with BPD. Now, what I'd love to do here is actually pause for a second and just share with y'all my understanding. So if we take all this stuff and we kind of boil it down, at its essence, what is BPD? Here's what I've kind of come to understand. This is sort of a clinical perspective and also based a little bit on my, years of training is in yoga and meditation. So when we go through life, we have a sense of self. And that sense of self is something that we carry with us and can respond to the things around us. So for example, if I am confident in myself and things don't go my way, let's say I get fired from a job, I won't let getting fired from a job determine my value as a human being, right? So if I've done good work in this world and I believe that I'm a good person and I'm a parent and I'm a good friend and I'm a good husband and I'm a good doctor, even if I get fired from a job, that one incident doesn't determine who I am. So we have this sense of self. And what we know from BPD is the core issue, in my opinion, is that the sense of self is distorted or not formed very well. So I don't really know who I am. So this sort of results in feelings of emptiness. We also sort of see a link with trauma. So oftentimes what happens with BPD is that people will grow up in traumatic situations. And when they grow up in traumatic situations, the sense of self cannot form in a healthy way. So where does that confident sense of self come from? It essentially comes from like a nurturing and caring environment. We'll get to that a little bit in a second too, when we talk about the development of BPD. But the core thing is that I don't know who I am on the inside. That's the core feature. So then we can see a lot of other things. One is that how I feel about myself is determined by how people treat me. So if people treat me with lots of love and care, I in turn love and care myself. If people treat me with hostility, anger, resentment, then I will sort of feel like a really terrible person. So who I am is determined by how I'm treated. That, in my opinion, is the core feature of BPD and explains all kinds of other things. Because this explains why I need people to love me all the time. Because if someone stops loving me, and it's not necessarily if they stop loving me, if they travel somewhere for a week, and then without that daily reassurance of their love, I'm not able to love myself, and I start to feel empty, I start to feel abandoned, even though I logically know that this person still cares about me. but I require that kind of input from the outside to determine my worth. And so what that also results in is like kind of becoming a chameleon. And so this kind of creates a lot of problems in relationships, because if I want this person to like me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to be into the stuff that they're into. Right? So if this person is in the metal bands, I'm going to pretend to like, oh, I love metal too. So you kind of become this chameleon in life where you don't have your own joys, preferences, desires. You kind of adapt and absorb the desires of other people. The problem though is that as you kind of become this chameleon, you're like, yeah, I'm super into metal too. In order to engage with them, you may not actually be super into metal. So you almost create this kind of false contract with the people around you. That you pretend to be into metal, you pretend to be into metal, you're super into it, and then 3 months go by, 4 months go by, 5 months go by, you're not really into metal, so it starts to become hard to maintain that facade. As it's hard to maintain that facade, people start to like realize, oh, you're actually not that into metal, so they stop inviting you to stuff, and if they stop inviting you to stuff, that triggers the fear of abandonment, and then you're like, no, I'm really into metal, I promise I'm into metal, I'm into metal, I'm into metal. One of the most tragic things that I ever saw was a person who had BPD who was in a relationship with someone who wanted to be in an open relationship. And they were sort of like all in because this is what my partner wants. I don't want them to leave me, so I'm going to agree to an open relationship even though it's not what I want. And then once you enter into an open relationship and your partner is like, having sexual relations with a lot of other people, that actually exacerbates the fear of abandonment and really just causes all kinds of behaviors to explode. So the core issue here is that we don't really know who we are on the inside. And so how we feel about ourselves is determined by how we're treated. Now what we're going to do is get into a little bit about how BPD develops. So we sort of know, there's just a couple of like neuroscience things to start off with. The first is that BPD has a high level of heritability. So there's a strong genetic component. So the genetic component of BPD explains about 37 to 65% of BPD. So what that sort of means is that there's a strong genetic component. Now, I think some of these studies are a little bit flawed because I think that it's not just the genetics, it's also the upbringing of the household. So if you have a parent with BPD, I think that accounts for a lot of the development of BPD in the child. So it could be some amount of nurture as opposed to nature because you've got a parent who's got BPD. So what we see in the brains of people with BPD is that they have increased emotional responsiveness. So what that sort of means is that if something bad happens to me, it may take me 10 seconds or 15 seconds to get really angry. Whereas someone with BPD will get angry within a single second. So the amygdalas of people with BPD are actually a little bit smaller, which people may think, okay, so remember the amygdala is our fear center of the brain, is our survival center of the brain. So does smaller mean less? No, usually smaller in the brain means more because we're not able to regulate it as much. So people will feel negative emotions more intensely and faster. The other thing that we know about the brains of people with BPD is that they experience those negative emotions for longer than someone who doesn't have BPD. So that sort of means is that I'll get pissed over 30 seconds, and then I'll stay pissed for about an hour, hour and a half. Whereas someone with BPD will get pissed within 1 second, and they'll stay pissed for like 8 hours. So their experience day to day of life changes because of the way that their brain actually works. So we also have evidence that there's a dysregulation of the stress system. So people with BPD will be in high stress states for longer periods of time. And they're also very sensitive to stimuli. So what does that kind of mean? So there's one of my favorite studies on BPD is one where they looked at facial expressions. So what researchers did is they took a facial expression like this, and then they videotaped going from a smile to an angry face. So like this, and then this, right? So if you actually take that clip and you turn it into 100 stills, what you'll find is that there's 100% happy and 100% angry. And most people, if you look at the middle, when I'm halfway between smiling and angry, most people can't really tell what I'm feeling. Like if you take a normal brain and you show them that picture of 50% happy, 50% angry, people will be kind of confused. Yeah. What happens is I need to get to 70% anger for a normal brain to tell that I'm angry. Right? So if I'm 50% angry, people can't really tell what I'm feeling. Once I hit 70% anger, then people can tell. The interesting thing is that for people with BPD, they can detect the anger at only 30% anger. So even when someone is 70% smiling and 70% happy, the brain of the person with BPD actually detects anger in that situation. So I want y'all to imagine what it's like to go through life when the people around you, even if they're 70% happy, if they're only unhappy with you 30%, if what you detect there is that this person is unhappy with you. Imagine how hard it is to go through life when you're doing 70% right, but all you can see is the 30% of unhappiness that people experience. So what we tend to see in people with BPD is that they're very, very sensitive to the negative emotions of others. They're very, very empathic, which once again fits in with this idea of I don't know who I am, so my sense of self is going to be determined by how other people treat me. In order for that to work, I have to be very, very empathic. The challenge is that the kind of empathy that I have is biased. It's biased towards the negative. So what I tend to see is the dissatisfaction, the fear, the disappointment, the anger in all of my relationships. And then what I start to do is I start to react when people are 70% happy. Even though they're still happy, I'm like, oh my God, this person is upset with me. And then I'll start to ask them, hey, why are you mad at me? But the person's like, I'm not mad at you, I feel okay. Like I'm a little bit frustrated, but it's not that big of a deal. Oh my God, why are you frustrated? What did I do wrong? And then what they'll sort of do is create these frustrating dynamics with the relationships that they're in. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what do we understand about the development of BPD. So we know that there's a high correlation between trauma and BPD, but my favorite theory of this actually comes from Marsha Linehan, who is the developer of something called dialectical behavioral therapy. Brilliant psychologist who, if memory serves correctly, I could be wrong here, but I think she herself has BPD and kind of talks about that. And so what she sort of believes is that we have, in order to develop BPD, what we need is a neuroscientific vulnerability, i.e. a brain that is sensitive to negative emotion, plus an invalidating environment. So you can have a brain that's sensitive to negative emotion, but if you grow up in the right environment, what that sort of means is that you'll get enough emotional reassurance to where you'll learn that, like, over time, like when you're 4 years old, 5 years old, that even though I feel really angry, my parents are there to kind of create a safe space for me so I can kind of calm down and I can develop some security. I can start to feel good about myself, even though I was feeling bad a little while ago. And on the flip side, what we kind of see is if you have that neurological vulnerability to intense negative emotions and you are in an invalidating environment, what that sort of does is, like, then when those negative emotions arise, like, they get amplified and they don't get toned down by your environment. So what this also means is that if you have a neurotypical brain in an invalidating environment, but if you aren't neurologically sensitive to that negative emotion, even if the environment is somewhat invalidating, it's not that big of a deal because your brain is able to sort of like. So people will feel negative emotions more intensely and faster. The other thing that we know about the brains of people with BPD is that they experience those negative emotions for longer than someone who doesn't have BPD. So that sort of means is that I'll get pissed over 30 seconds, and then I'll stay pissed for about an hour or hour and a half. Whereas someone with BPD will get pissed within 1 second, and they'll stay pissed for like 8 hours. So their experience day-to-day of life changes because of the way that their brain actually works. So we also have evidence that there's a dysregulation of the stress system. So people with BPD will be in high stress states for longer periods of time. And they're also very sensitive to stimuli. So what does that kind of mean? So there's one of my favorite studies on BPD is one where they looked at facial expressions. So what researchers did is they took a facial expression like this, and then they videotaped going from a smile to an angry face. So like this, and then this, right? So if you actually take that clip and you turn it into 100 stills, what you'll find is that there's 100% happy and 100% angry. And most people, if you look at the middle, when I'm halfway between smiling and angry, most people can't really tell what I'm feeling. Like if you take a normal brain and you show them that picture of 50% happy, 50% angry, people will be kind of confused. What happens is I need to get to 70% anger for a normal brain to tell that I'm angry, right? So if I'm 50% angry, people can't really tell what I'm feeling. Once I hit 70% anger, then people can tell. The interesting thing is that for people with BPD, they can detect the anger at only 30% anger. So even when someone is 70% smiling and 70% happy, the brain of the person with BPD actually detects anger in that situation. So I want y'all to imagine what it's like to go through life when the people around you, even if they're 70% happy, if they're only unhappy with you 30%, if what you detect there is that this person is unhappy with you. Imagine how hard it is to go through life when you're doing 70% right, but all you can see is the 30% of unhappiness that you have. So what we tend to see in people with BPD is that they're very, very sensitive to the negative emotions of others. They're very, very empathic, which once again fits in with this idea of I don't know who I am, so my sense of self is going to be determined by how other people treat me. In order for that to work, I have to be very, very empathic. The challenge is that the kind of empathy that I have is biased. It's biased towards the negative. So what I tend to see is the dissatisfaction, the fear, the disappointment, the anger in all of my relationships. And then what I start to do is I start to react when people are 70% happy. Even though they're still happy, I'm like, oh my God, this person is upset with me. And then I'll start to ask them, hey, why are you mad at me?
Because
the person's like, I'm not mad at you, I feel okay. Like, I'm a little bit frustrated, but it's not that big a deal. Oh my God, why are you frustrated? What did I do wrong? And then what they'll sort of do is create these frustrating dynamics with the relationships that they're in. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what do we understand about the development of BPD. So we know that there's a high correlation between trauma and BPD, but my favorite theory of this actually comes from Marshall Linehan, who is the developer of something called dialectical behavioral therapy. Brilliant psychologist who, if memory serves correctly, I could be wrong here, but I think she herself has BPD and kind of talks about that. And so what she sort of believes is that we have, in order to develop BPD, what we need is a neuroscientific vulnerability, i.e. a brain that is sensitive to negative emotion, plus an invalidating environment. So you can have a brain that's sensitive to negative emotion, but if you grow up in the right environment, what that sort of means is that you'll get enough emotional reassurance to where you'll learn that, like, over time, like when you're 4 years old, 5 years old, that even though I feel really angry, my parents are there to kind of create a safe space for me so I can kind of calm down and I can develop some security. I can start to feel good about myself, even though I was feeling bad a little while ago. And on the flip side, what we kind of see is if you have that neurological vulnerability to intense negative emotions and you are in an invalidating environment, what that sort of does is, like, then when those negative emotions arise, like, they get amplified and they don't get toned down by your environment. So what this also means is that if you have a neurotypical brain in an invalidating environment, but if you aren't neurologically sensitive to that negative emotion, even if the environment is somewhat invalidating, it's not that big of a deal because your brain is able to sort of like regulate its own emotions internally. So this is why there's a correlation with trauma, but what we tend to see is that some people with BPD don't grow up in necessarily traumatic households. Some of them will really grow up in invalidating environments. And then you'll have like invalidating environments. Let's say your mom is invalidating, but you've got 3 kids in the household and only one of them will grow up with BPD, even though they all have the same invalidating environment. What's the reason for that? It's because the other 2 kids have brains that are not sort of like have an itchy trigger finger when it comes to negative emotion. So I really like this theory. I think it's very explanatory where there's a neurological vulnerability plus an environmental factor. So a key thing that people sort of think about, especially when we talk about personality disorders, is does this mean I'm screwed? Because this is a personality disorder, right? You're telling me, Dr. K, that my brain is busted. I have a small amygdala. And like, if I've got a small amygdala and I don't know who I am on the inside, does that mean I'm essentially screwed because I engage in all these manipulative behaviors and I'm screwed? The answer is actually shockingly no. Actually, BPD is, I know it sounds kind of bizarre, but actually has one of the best prognoses of personality disorders. So the first thing to understand is that there are very good treatments for BPD. One of my favorite treatments for BPD is something called dialectical behavioral therapy, which is essentially cognitive behavioral therapy with this mindfulness component added to it. So the mindfulness helps us do things like regulate our emotions, right? Gives us healthy alternative coping strategies to things like substance use or cutting. And then the other cool thing is like this Eastern yoga meditation stuff helps us discover who we are as people. And so in my experience of working with BPD patients, like they actually end up doing really well because we sort of do this weird like yogic find yourself inner journey thing, and it actually works really well. So in terms of statistics, this is really shocking. But if you take patients who are hospitalized due to borderline personality disorder, so these are people who are in such a crisis where they get hospitalized potentially involuntarily, they get locked into a psychiatric ward. 2 years after hospitalization, 34% of them are in remission. 4 years after hospitalization, 49% of them are in remission. 6 years after hospitalization, 68% of them are in remission. In a decade after hospitalization, 86% are in remission, which is kind of staggering, right? So what we're saying is that you can be so sick that you get hospitalized. And 10 years out, if we take 1,000 people with BPD and we just measure them 10 years out, we're not really sure who engaged in what level of treatment, by the way. But we just look at the statistics. The odds are that 860 out of 1,000 people will be in remission. Now, what does remission mean? That means that not having significant symptoms for a 2-year period. Okay? Only about 6% of people who are in remission will have recurrences. So are we kind of catching people on a good day, and that's why like these statistics are so good? But actually the prognosis for BPD is like actually really, really good, and we have very, very good treatments for it. There's also a lot of evidence that shows that having stable relationships can rapidly improve BPD. So all you need is really like one person who's kind of a stable source in your life to really improve things. So one study that I looked at suggested that there was somewhere around a 50% remission rate at 2 years if you have a stable relationship. But remember that you don't necessarily have to have a stable relationship. People find remission in all kinds of other ways. And when people sort of wonder about that, this is kind of my experience of it as a clinician. Is that remember that the key thing here is that you don't really know who you are, right? So you sort of define yourself based on how other people treat you. If you take people who are really confused about their identity, let's say a 21-year-old who's been hospitalized, if you look at the difference between a 21-year-old and a 31-year-old, a lot has changed between the 21-year-old and the 31-year-old. The first thing that's happened is their brain has fully matured. And what we sort of know is that strong frontal lobe development mediates or reduces the symptoms of BPD. So just literally like your brain maturing can reduce the symptoms of BPD. Just aging. So every year that goes by, like you're could be better for you. The other thing that tends to happen is we don't really know who we are at the age of 21. And by the age of 31, a lot of us have it more figured out, right? We sort of have figured out a little bit more about who we are. And so as we sort of develop this sense of identity over time, as we sort of discover who we are, hopefully we can find some good supportive relationships. Hopefully our brain develops a little bit. Hopefully we learn how to regulate our emotions. Hopefully we actually engage in treatment like dialectical behavioral therapy or learn mindfulness or meditation. As we kind of do all those things, BPD can actually get better. So borderline personality disorder is one of the most misunderstood diagnoses out there. I think it gets a really, really, really bad rap. Especially because if you know people who have BPD, it can be really hard to engage in relationships with them. Whether they be family relationships, platonic relationships, all kinds of stuff, this can be hard. But the good news is that with the right kind of treatment, and even maybe just getting older, a lot of this stuff kind of resolves on its own. We're not really sure about too much there, but we do know that the prognosis is actually pretty good. So if you have BPD, if you suspect that you have BPD, I strongly encourage you to get evaluated, get treatment, and most importantly, don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope. No, it's the point of having alcohol. Okay, it's not that obvious. Sorry.
When you're at the level of the Sidemen, Mr. Beast, you need a CEO, which is kind of what we are. An alcohol brand, trading cards, a membership club, and a podcast. And did those work immediately? It worked, but there were problems. There's tens of
Welcome back to Paul's Tech News. It has been a bit of a dramatic week in the world of PC hardware tech, and this time it wasn't caused by Nvidia or Intel or AMD, but by the very tech reviewers who were supposed to bring balance to the industry, not leave it in darkness. So yes, I will be going over the week of shame and ignominy that the folks over at Linus Media Group have been toiling through, and I will give some personal thoughts and feedback, but there's a decent chance that if you're watching this video, you're already well aware of the situation and even perhaps a bit tired of it, as it has saturated the news feeds ever since the Gamers Nexus video that sparked controversy went up back on Monday. Since then, there has been no shortage of posts, memes, reaction videos, and general vitriol carelessly tossed into the mix to further fuel the dumpster fire that, at the very least, seems to have burned its way down to a smoldering trash can fire by week's end. But whether you're here for that or for the other tech news, such as a newly leaked Threadripper CPU, Intel's strides forward with Arc GPU development, or the absurd amount of cash Nvidia stands to make in the AI space, I'd recommend using the timestamps that I conveniently add to each episode to navigate to the thing you most want to see, even if that means jumping back to rewatch this intro again. Then I could enjoy this beer twice. Time for tech news.
Excellent!
Today's video is brought to you by Thermaltake's CTE series cases, the C750 Air and C750 TG. CTE stands for Centralized Thermal Efficiency, and the 90-degree rotated motherboard mount, dual chamber design, and 3 included 140mm CT140 fans ensure that your PC parts stay cool and quiet no matter what hardware you install. The C750 Air maximizes airflow with extensive ventilation, while the C750 TG provides an additional 4mm tempered glass front panel, and both support up to EATX-sized motherboards. For more on Thermaltake's CTE series cases, click the sponsor link in the video description. Alright, I debated whether or not to lead with this, but here it is, as succinct a recap as I can manage on the Linus Tech Tips situation this week. First, a summary and timeline, and then some light feedback and analysis. It all started Monday, when Gamers Nexus published a 44-minute video titled The Problem with Linus Tech Tips: Accuracy, Ethics, and Responsibility. In typical GN fashion, Steve presented a thesis that Linus Media Group and its associated YouTube channels were rushing out content in a quantity over quality type fashion that led to regular errors and omissions in the data presented, particularly when it comes to the testing and benchmarking of PC hardware. He then backed up that thesis with a litany of examples. Errors were found in multiple GPU, CPU, PSU, and cooling tests, and errors that were caught in post-production were being fixed with quick on-screen text corrections that are easy to miss. Steve also pointed out ethical concerns with regards to sponsorships and conflicts of interest, and real-world implications of hastily made bad reviews for products like the Ponage mouse and, most egregiously, a custom-built GPU water block prototype built by a small company called Billet Labs, which was tested on the wrong GPU, dismissed as a bad product, and then never returned despite Billet Labs requesting it back multiple times. More on that in a moment, but as of Monday, the initial response to the Gamers Nexus video was at least somewhat mixed. While many agreed with Steve's assessment, others pointed out that GN themselves handle PC hardware lab testing and that attacking LMG in this way was uncalled for, coming from a competitor in the YouTube tech review space. Public opinion began to turn against LTT, however, as things escalated quickly over the next 24 hours. GN's video took off, gaining more than 2 million views in the first day and drawing more eyeballs towards the issue. Linus responded within 2 to 3 hours with a lengthy post on the LTT forums, expressing disappointment with Steve for not going through proper journalistic practices by contacting LMG ahead of time before posting his video, and attempting to explain the Billet Labs situation while expressing sadness about the community backlash. The community did seem most upset about the Billet Labs situation out of all the things that were revealed in the video, apart from the bad look that Linus gave them in the video on the GPU block on LTT originally. Billet Labs also never received their prototype unit back because it was somehow accidentally auctioned off at LTX as part of the fundraiser for the Extra Life booth. Unfortunately for Linus, Billet Labs also posted a public response, and it became evident that there was a lot of internal miscommunication on the LMG side, and also that Team Linus did not follow up about the situation in earnest until a couple hours after the Gamers Nexus video went up on Monday. Also, unfortunately for Linus, the public outrage machine was working full tilt on Monday and Tuesday, and Linus forum post replies were not sitting well with the community by way of explanation. Steve was also full of disappointment on that day, and he appended a segment to his Tuesday Hardware News video specifying exactly why Linus's forum reply was not acceptable, such as when Linus said the Billet Labs block was auctioned, not sold, for some reason, as if that made it better, and doubling down on the product being bad even though they did not test it properly. Steve also clarified the timeline with Billet Labs and confirmed that LMG's responses to Billet were very much in reaction to the recent public outcry versus LMG reaching out proactively to handle the situation properly. And so, a situation that Linus might have handled gracefully with an apology and a bit of owning up was instead exacerbated by the appearance of a cover-up, and once again, more fuel was added to the fire. By Tuesday, the LMG executive staff had apparently recognized that the situation was getting more serious, and that a forum post would not be enough to appease upset viewers. So they produced a response video that day, Tuesday, that aired Wednesday morning, titled, "What Do We Do Now?" headed up by their new CEO Taryn Tong, and featuring team leaders from throughout the organization talking about their plans to make things right, which included a temporary pause in video production, which seemed badly needed. But once again, the timing for LMG was quite terrible, as another bombshell had dropped late Tuesday night, a lengthy set of Twitter posts by ex-LMG employee Madison Reeve detailing very serious allegations about her time there, the toxic work environment and grind culture that affected her mental and physical health, and sexual harassment that went either unnoticed or unpunished. This immediately escalated the situation even further, and by contrast, the semi-serious tone, casual jokes about sponsor spots, and merch tie-ins from the LMG team's response apology video, as well as the fact that it was initially monetized, seemed callous and unsympathetic to the situation at hand, to say the least. Madison's posts have also been backed up by another former LMG employee, Colin, who also posted a response on Twitter. Now, there are certainly more details to speak of surrounding these events over the past week, but those are the main points in the timeline. In the ensuing days, sub counts for the main LTT channel, and most noticeably Floatplane, have dropped noticeably, with Floatplane going from around 42,000 to about 37,000, and as of filming at least, they're down closer to 36,000. I am happy to report that Madison's allegations are being taken seriously. Taryn has stated that they'll be hiring a third-party investigator for that, and hopefully some justice will be done. Meanwhile, Linus Tech Tips and its satellite channels have already missed some uploads, as they said they would, and the WAN show was canceled for the first time in living memory on Friday, which was definitely the right call, despite how many people were looking forward to more juicy live hot takes to add to the drama. For my part, I hope that LMG can take the steps needed to ease their workload and refocus on quality content versus rushing to meet arbitrary daily upload schedules. I hope the team members who got caught up in all of this through no fault of their own can rise above and persevere. I hope Linus can do something I know he's done many times before. Take a step back, take a deep breath, gain some perspective, and do better for his employees and his viewers. I hope those same viewers can recognize that there were a lot of mistakes uncovered this week, but by and large they were not intentional or malicious. And I hope we can all recognize that anyone who would treat someone in the way Madison described is just a massive shit stain, and fuck that person. I hope the rest of their life is miserable. To close off this bit, I attempted some proper journalistic practices and reached out for a quote from the man who started it all, GN Steve. My question was this how you were expecting things to fall out after your original LTT video went up? Steve replied, Linus's forum reply that he posted immediately following the video was disappointing and baffling, but also showed us his unfiltered thoughts. As for the community response, we try not to apply any expectations to the audience and instead provide our findings to allow consumers to decide how to proceed after that. Just much the same way he goes about doing his reviews. Wise words, Steve, but if you ever decide to make a video like that about my channel, please really do email me first. Need a drink after all that. Right, at last I can move on to the real tech news about actual hardware and stuff, but let's do it efficiently via tech briefs. Many have echoed the refrain in the past year or two that it is Intel, not AMD, who might actually bring some balance to the GPU marketplace and offer us not stupidly overpriced video cards. And indeed, maybe they've already done that with their current Arc series, which continue to gain performance through driver updates. Intel's most recent update went live Wednesday, and their claim of a 12 to 19% performance boost in DirectX 11 titles has been tested by hot hardware and proven to be pretty much accurate, even going beyond that in some titles like GTA Online, which saw a 28% uplift. Intel also has a new software package with a present mon overlay that shows a new metric called GPU Busy, which should help to demystify whether your GPU performance is being more limited by your CPU being too slow or other hardware variables at play. The driver and software are available from Intel now, and Hot Hardware went as far as to say that with the updates, there's no better GPU to buy right now at $250 than the Arc A750. But what's next for Intel GPUs? That would be Battlemage, and a leak posted to Twitter by Harukaze5719 has possibly revealed some new info about Arc's successor. The image here shows an interposer test tool made for BGA GPUs, and what is notable is the size. The BGA 2727-BMG-X3-6CH appears to indicate that at least one Battlemage chip will be 2.5% larger in terms of package size than its Arc predecessor. And while some might say that package size isn't everything, I say that bigger is better. And PC Gamer agrees with me. Some back-of-the-napkin math and a healthy dose of extrapolation leads them to believe that the big Battlemage GPU could provide RTX 4080-like performance. And while that should be taken with a big old dose of skeptic salt, it sure would be nice to have another GPU on the market with RTX 4080-like performance. Even AMD has a tough time doing that right now. Speaking of AMD, perhaps they won't give us enthusiasts another mainstream Threadripper CPU, but they sure can make us drool over the possibilities of what might have been had they not abandoned the high-end desktop space back in the Threadripper 3000 days. This week's leak comes from a Geekbench score for an HP Z6 G5 workstation that was apparently equipped with a Threadripper Pro 7995WX CPU featuring 96 cores and 192 threads. It also uses DDR5 memory, of course, 512 gigabytes of it, and hit a peak frequency of 5.14 gigahertz, which is not too shabby at all for a 96-core processor. And the overall score of 81,408 is technically a world record, according to HardwareBot. I wonder how much these CPUs will cost. I have also wondered how much it costs NVIDIA to produce one of their specialized AI processors, and we apparently have an answer. According to Barron's senior writer Tae Kim, an H100 costs NVIDIA an estimated $3,320 per chip and peripheral components. And they sell for $25,000 to $30,000 each. So that's roughly a 1,000% markup. Not bad in terms of profit margin. That's not even considering the H800, which is NVIDIA's cut-down variant of the H100, built to ship to China and still meet export restrictions, which have reportedly been selling for $50,000 to $70,000 each across the Pacific, where AI farms are a bit tougher to assemble. And how many of these GPUs does NVIDIA move each year? Well, for 2023, 550,000 units, according to Financial Times. Best get out your calculator with the widescreen display, because if you do the math on that, it's conservatively about $25 billion in revenue just for the H100s that NVIDIA will bring in. New buyers for these AI chips include Saudi Arabia and the UAE, who have decided that after their oil runs out, they'll just make money with AI stuff. Lastly, and I can't believe I didn't lead with this, your PC might have RAM, but does it have Ultra RAM? Well, it should. Ultra RAM just earned itself a Most Innovative Award at the Flash Memory Summit because it combines the high performance of DRAM with the non-volatility of Flash, which sounds like an impossible best of both worlds scenario, but that's probably why it is a bit more complex than typical components. Invented by Professor Manus Hain from the physics department at Lancaster University, Ultra RAM uses quantum mechanical resonant tunneling to store data, meaning it's not even silicon-based. It uses compound semiconductors such as gallium antimonide or indium arsenide to do its thing, and likely future uses include servers, which already use a ton of power, refreshing today's typical volatile RAM solutions. Ultra RAM will, in theory, store your bits for more than 1,000 years. So even a millennia after you die, your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will be able to dig up your internet browsing history. What a promising future we all have to look forward to. One last note, and that is that a week from today, on Sunday the 27th, there will be a fan meetup with me, my friend Kyle, aka Bitwit. It will be at a local park here in Southern California. We're not trying to make a huge deal out of it. We don't want anyone making plans or trying to travel from further away, but we are going to have some snacks and we'll be able to hang out with some fans and have a great time. But that is all I have for now. There you have it, tech news for the week. And if you liked it, click that like button, leave me a comment down below. While you're down there, all the articles I talked about today are linked in the description if you're interested, and you can check out my store at paulshardware.net for high-quality merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, beer sets, and more. Subscribing to my channel is always a good call too. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
That thing's not even working after reset. Anyway. That thing can't be full. It didn't work. That, I don't know. No, I missed the stick the whole time. Hey. God, I'm so fucking bad. I just can't take it. It's fucking shit. It's not working. scam. No, sorry, Eri, I'm not an idiot. Got my fingers.
Got these eyes looking forward, got this blood.
There's actually a song in the Rocketeer. It's the music menu. Camera, roots. I always parts, I don't know why. This everyone parts. Wow. Let's go see. Do some more 1v1 match. What the hell was that? Is this thing recording? Easy, I don't know. Recording? Oh, it's like it's live. Okay, yo, Wave Sweet, finally. Luckily, I started playing now. I've been in training and messing around with my settings and stream and everything. I'm doing 1v1 now, yeah. Oh, I saved it. Always. Okay, so my front flips is not working. I must, it's not dead zone. Oh, stop challenging like a flat, man. I shot. James here. Underneath me. Oh, oh, it's faster than I thought. I must wake up. Don't you can sleep now, dude. In twos, I am gold 1 or gold 2 now. In ones. And twos, I think I'm actually also getting gold. I'm having some trouble with my controller, some modification, sponge stuff, styrofoam sponge stuff to make it not so that I don't destroy it, and to make it less sensitive. And my dead zone is already also at 0.8 or something, 0.6. And then I have also my controller dead zone, also almost full. And then DS4, I've got axis square dead zone. So that my forward dead zone is less than my sideways, because so that I can still flip. And maybe that's why I'm back flipping. I was lucky. So you've got your mark 507, so I'm like gold 2, I'm grinding back to gold 3 again. I don't know, I think I've been gold 3. Never been platinum once. I've got diamond season rewards last season in 2s. Oh, there's a crashing part. I didn't see that. That's my bad. I shot. I just always do a nice shot, make the guys feel better. Maybe go top, I don't know. That was bad. It's my typical bad. Oh, weird, man. Four, 30 seconds. Can't hear you. MMR in ones. I think I'm gold to Division 2 or Division 3, trying to get gold 3 again, and flat obviously in ones. And Wish is not talking to me. So another goal. Thanks, guy. So if you can hear the mic, nobody's responding to my talking, so maybe Wish will respond to me. Oh, lots of fumbling. Are you practicing mechanics? I don't know if that's a request or a challenge. I just see 1v1, and yes, I am playing 1v1. I guess you people are on mobile phones checking, and typing is too much to ask. Sorry. I don't mean to be so mean. I just don't know what 1v1 means, because I'm playing 1v1. And I think that's a private match just to warm up against the Wish man, who I just cannot beat these days. Since forever. Just challenge. Maybe. What reason? Oh, wish is in a game. Not talking and in a game. No. Why can't I create a private match? Oh, because he's the leader. So he challenge, yeah, maybe later, be South African, well, or European. Wish is being quiet. He doesn't want to get talking going. He's scared. Or there's a tea party in the background. Or he's playing in a secret. I don't like this preset. A lot of fun like this. Whoa. Sorry. I was looking at my controller. Oops. Bad offer. Just I got the bumper. The ball against my thing is going brackety, drop. Nice. It's funny when you're ping. Oh no, it was not ping online, it was my frames. Yeah, top right, I've got my frames. The second showing it, they drop to red, the ball just goes like this. I saw 3 a flag. I'm trying to give me a goal. No. Nice. Thanks. So you gotta practice your freestyling on me. No. Man, it's getting dangerous. Challenging like a black. Nice shot, thanks. I'll take it, I don't care. You win, always. I will demo, even if that's what it takes to get 1 goal. Brazil. Nice fake. First one. Bad shot. Yes, it's good. No! I tried to drift it. Trickies. Fuck off. So bad. One day I will Jamaican coconut that. Or I'll just plant plat it or gold 3 it or something. Hit the ball, what a goal. Yeah. Nice. Did you see the diamonds also back with it? Well, I did spot about a little bit out there. Bitch. Nice shot. Save. I feel bad because Eddie invited me first and then I was still playing once. Oh, that's that ping thing again, sorry. I went for the ball after you. Not the ping thing, the frames. Oh, back off. Again. I swear to God, my dodge zone is on 0.70 or 8. That's just 70 maybe. Nice. It's on 0.8. And I still backflip. Or dodge, unexpectedly. Match point, Brazil. I will show him. Ooh. Decided to not play. All flips broken, but I backflip. Oh, look at him go! Wow, what a shot, that was so close. Nice try. It's gonna bump you there. My bad. Got short. Since we have a crowd that wants to challenge one v ones, I guess I have to make this best out of me. You have to make a call. Okay. I will use the warm-up for a ranked match. I think I did win that ranked match. Oh, sorry, Harry. If you're watching Harry, we can play later. first time player. Yes, I'm winning. I'm ahead. Usually I've got one loss. Why is the guy? Oh, why am I missing? What's his speed? He's from around here. And he's higher MMR than me, so he's gonna... Oh, and season 11 flat tournament winner. That means he's an EU. So he must be good. He's just trying to kill me with speed, I guess. Win me over. He's definitely challenging like a flat. I will win him by the force of Chief Beef and the shadow defense and scoring on his mistakes. That wasn't shadow defending. On and up boost. Pick up bad challenge. Nice. Up boost. Guys just waffling all over it now. So we did a rank match. I've got 4 minutes left, but I am 2-0 ahead. And I haven't lost rank yet, but this is only my second rank. Usually I start with lose. Maybe the lose against you was not a bad shot. I'm playing a guy higher MMR than me, and he scored. And he challenges like a flat, and he works like a flat. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that kickoff on the straight kickoffs. Or against these flats, anyway. No, he missed it. He whips and strikes like a flat. Oh, I'm leaking. I'm gonna start in chat now if they're missing or even if they're there or left. Since he is playing like that type of flat, I'm gonna do Chief Beef strat, and that's just shadow defense and capitalize on his mistakes and misses. Oh, that was a great move. That's not. Oops, I almost missed it, but bumped it to save it. 3. I almost messed it up. I'm gonna skip, otherwise you're gonna get tilted. Close one, dude. That's right. Should have done that, Nerves. I should just score a target. What was he doing? Game moved to the other side. He's braver than me, Wish. Or he knows I'm giving him a chance or something, or throwing again. I don't know, not sure what I'm doing. But I was 2 goals ahead, now I'm 1 goal ahead. This is kick of goal, quickly. Ooh, bing, all our new friends bombed out, now we're equal. Why? I shouldn't turn on kickoffs because I'm gonna get a French spike drop. And then my character is like swing there on the wall. Now it's comeback time, or I'm just winning. Keep a roll again, try. That's good. On track. Not on track anymore, but after boost, you get the same boost. I did my back. I didn't score. He worked the ball. I just punked it in. This is ridiculous. He says what it says. Nice shot, sorry. Close on. This is Rocketeer. Nice. Nice one. You must hit the ball, guy, not me. Ooh, I must also hit the ball. Oh, this almost full shot the goal. Oh. That was a speed shot. Oh, you could have struck it in now, you would have had the goal. Oh, you can still have the goal. Nope. He messed that up. First one, brother. Sweet. Gigantia. Nice. Goal 2, Division 2 now. And again, press it. At least two wins and then quitting is better than 2 losers quitting for a week. Okay, are we gonna, since let's do this thing quickly. You're the party master, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, the party. Ooh. Stadium club matchup against Unlucky next time. Sounds like they are in the same shoes as us. Ooh, cheetah goal, a save. Oh my goodness, this is up for a serious match, I think. Nice, okay, they are passing to you. You are taking the shots easily. Open nets is this man's favorite game. What a catch. Got ball control. Sweet. Nice. Oop, I can maybe do that. Oh no, that guy will save it. He pinched back. Unfortunately, I can challenge, fake challenge. Fake challenge again. My controller is greasy. Roof. Oh, nice. Ah, I knew it, and I was about to jump. Damn it, man. Nice. Get him. How dare he come from demolish. Oof, easy. Oh, I was gonna come. I was too late. I'm so bad. I don't have boost in my defense. Nice challenge. He's okay. He's not used to getting challenged like that. Is that in? No. Oh, it's gonna be in. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Give me a boost. Nice. Flick skull. We're gonna skull you now. Bad deal. Bumped him again. Soon. Awesome. Don't have that. I wasn't back post enough for that wall pass of his. My bad. I mean, said my bad. Cheating up slowly. Coming in for this. Whoa. I missed the ankle bounce because I'm so bad. I shot. What a save. Okay. There's another disguised undercover toxic player because he's got what a save on muscle memory and then said sorry and then no thanks and then no problem. Oh no, there was no sorry for him. Thanks. Yeah, so you want to say, I don't know if he said what I said too soon or after I said nice shot or whether he was maybe joking. Usually if they say sorry or my bad or my fault and they didn't really need to say what I said this time, it'd be the same for a nice shot then thanks. I mean what I said then thanks. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll have to see how toxic they carry on. Boy. And there's a party. Phase missing. Of challenge. Okay. Point there. I heard you were here. Nice. Again. Oh, I took a boost spikes. Oh, I missed the ball. Nice shot. Say what to say. Boink. Have a demo. Nice, going for mid boost. I'm hanging behind midfield. I'm in the goal. Oh, nice shot. What a prediction. What a save. Close one. This is Rocketeer. Please forfeit, go home. I suppose 24 seconds is enough for them to come back. I must not be deep now. I will also not attempt a scoop flip here now, although he did. It was dangerous. Oh, my bad. I was rotating a bit slow. what to save himself, what to save me. Oh yes. We love kick-off goals. Subwoofer only. Quick question, do you play with viewers? Sometimes I do. Also the game audience used to be a bit loud on stream. It is because this thing is very loud. I don't know if I should... Is it YouTube? It's just too loud, much louder than other channels? Or is it... Or is it my mic is too soft? Because the game's volume is loud so that I can have my teammates' audio also on stream, but this one is just not talking now, but you can whisper. Okay, that was kind of a whisper. Some feedback on that volume would be great. But now my mic and the game volume is the same. I did move the OBS slider down, not the game's volume. Oh, my mic, okay, then my mic must be louder. You mean that's when the game is playing? Yeah. I've put that softer because I thought at some point it was very overbearing. But I think it's because you can't hear their mics there. But that I can just do in-game audio louder. But since we have a non-talker, we can leave it like this now. Please pop in subwoofer howling every stream so we can do a sound check. Oh, I'm pretty decent off-lip. Scuffed, but not too scuffed. Bam! My mic is now much louder than the game. If it's too loud, then I must drag it to the same height. Oh, what a shot! Oh, close. I'm not there. I was playing, not fiddle of sound. No, I crashed! I had no boost. If I had boost, I would have just boosted there, and then I just fell off the wall. Sideways, on my side, trying to flip. What an idiot. Let's mess like a ass in. I could do that. I've got a Discord server or something. I could stay in contact. I do, but it doesn't have an easy link. I don't know how you search. Check maybe the link in my description or about. Let's go to Discord. I think I also spam Twitter with auto stream link, which is maybe bad for my Twitter because it's just annoying. Just those. Wow, what a shot! 3 goal comeback. I'm just gonna move my mic a bit down and the game a bit up, like a derish. Now we've got Wish talking. He is not either. I must be kicking off, probably. No, maybe. Nice. Comeback initiated on 4 minutes, 3 goals. That seems like that is what it requires in diamonds. No boost player. Another challenge. Mr. Boost. Passing. No, Mr. Ball. Oh yeah, whispering. Or are you speaking to other people? Oh man, why was it not clear? That guy got to clear. A challenge not clear.
Sorry, I was on call.
I thought so. I thought I heard your voice. I say you were on call and not playing, but playing.
Yeah,
wow.
It's sideways holding the phone. It was incredibly difficult.
Impressive. And risky, unless it was like private call, Briar and oh, man is off a call and scores. See. We don't need to be stressing about a serious comeback. These guys just didn't know we weren't playing. All carry, wish carry. Hey, look, and it's a casual. Okay, that's why you did that. That's clever. Look, my casual MMR is above 1,000. 1,004. Okay, now I can cowboy. Sweet. Oh, we already won one, and that was also casual, obviously. Oops. Ooh, I can't demo this guy. My bad. I threw away the ball there and I was hoping to bump that guy. Okay. 1,000 is not enough. I must have higher MMR. So I can play these 1,400 MMR guys. Wow, I didn't go even close. I just went straight up and the ball didn't get there. And missing. He took the boost, that bastard. Backflippy. Oh no, they're not being funny. Bullies. We can still count them back, or at least score some goals. I must click my saving grace on. Here we go. Let's start that way and hold that way. Take his boost. My screen just twitched again. Frames passing, maybe. He struck demo. I'm going for back boost. I'll get this one. Missed it, I guess. It wasn't faked, I guess. Let's intercept him before he could reach it. I will come and drive around you. That's not a backflip. So, still very noob there with when to backflip and when to dodge when I'm not behind the ball. What a shot! Wish carry, man! Oopsie, this is Rocket League. Nice flying. We can play some threes. I'll just feel bad for invites that I've already received and denied. Woo! But that was for 1v1 challenges, and then I've got a guy here. Immediante, is that you? That sounds like a diamond. Diamante. Was this a guy earlier? No, can't see. I had a teammate on Harry Scary that wanted to play threes with. Maybe we can play privates. Since you just bought, we can play maybe 2v2 privates. Oh, no shadow defending here, it's just wall defense. Sorry, I know you were maybe hitting it, but I just wanted to jump and hit it so he doesn't hit it. Close. But also, maybe we are training now casuals and we are peaky passing. Or just, no boost. I saw you too late, otherwise I would have let it go. Not as good as yours. Bam. Sorry, guy. I almost jumped for that one. I was too close, my bad. Oh, I took your boost also, my bad. You can take that one, because now he's taking it. Nice try.
Whoa.
Whoa! Miss. Miss. Oh, that was just a little bit more. I shouldn't have missed it. Nice shot. How do you feel about privates? Or did you want to go check rank? Rich man.
Yeah, sorry, what?
How do you feel about privates, or did you want to go play some rank?
Oh, I can do privates. I'm not feeling right like that. Don't cook.
Are you doing what? What about cuck? You doing cuck?
Oh, I'm playing cocky.
Oh, no, what you were carrying? Look at that. Hey, I had 400 points. Let me see if Eddie is here. No, I feel bad if I don't invite him. Subby hell. So what's a subwoofer? Is it for car sound? Or you just an audio file, or you like bass? Oh, now Eddie is gone. I will always never back down. Oh, I'm the party master, okay. Okay, well now it seems I'm gonna invite Never Back Down. He'll probably join. Maybe I must open Epic, because those things doesn't always come through. What was that? Oh, there we go. Oops. Oh, that was a friend request. Okay. I almost thought I left the party. And then we must just see if Never Back Down will join. Or Eddie, and then we got a problem. But subwoofer, I see, are you listening here? No. The stream is a bit delayed. There's nothing I can do about that at the moment. He is keen for, if you wanna. Or even for listening. Makes my typing life easier. He said these will even do a 2v1, so you can someone just start, see what the Smurf is about. I don't know if you're a Smurf, I was just joking saying it. Of course, also you have to play our rules, and that's just unlimited time and unlimited boost. The winners. Sure. That board is so shiny, I can't, like, grab it. Oh! No. I tried to jump up my bum. I should have just boosted. What's up? So you can hear now? Oh, nice. Kick off goal. Shall we give him the lead? Or the...
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you, yeah.
There we go. Alright. There. You guys can switch over to different team. I can play by myself.
Cool, cool. I was telling him just now, you said you're willing for 2v1.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm just bored a bit.
And then I was saying on stream, I don't know if you were listening there still, but I said like, okay, yeah, you said you will 2v1, so let's see what the Smurf can do.
I mean, I'm not even a Smurf. I'm just on my main.
Yeah, sure, it's just privates, but we always just joke about people better than us as being Smurfs.
Oh, alright. I get it.
So I'm guessing you are probably just better. Are you from the UK? Oh, let's see. UK ping or
nah.
US ping?
Nah, I'm from Czech Republic. I'm from Central Europe.
Oh, you're like Europe, okay. But you sound American.
Well, I've been talking English for a bit now. I'm used to it.
Ah, it must be the movies.
Nah, not really. I just play a lot of games, so yeah.
Cool.
Then you guys are kind of slaying me.
No.
Yeah, I still get a... yeah.
We play till, we're playing till 7. We can just start the match over then again. Or we can switch sides. It'll give you a 4 heads up. It's good to have you for possible EU tournaments, because we don't have tournaments on South African servers.
I see.
And then we always
I can do that at some point.
Then we always control the EU servers, but at the moment we've got our international fiber or all our fiber international cables are broken basically. So even the ping is even worse. And also getting to plat tournaments. Ooh, nice. What a touch.
Damn, that was...
What a save.
Yeah, I'm still warming up. Yeah, thanks.
When you're bouncing. Whoops, yeah, I thought you were waiting, checking the ball. Oh, there's Luxem. Well, okay, we can get your partner. We haven't, it's one of our local old lobby friends and we haven't played him in a while. Oops, my bad. We just make you feel good because you're 4 goals behind. Just joking. You obviously know how bad I am.
Ah, you're good. It's just about spending the time in the game.
Oh, alright. Control. Nice.
I'm still warming up. I think I can do better, but...
No, I believe you.
I don't really care right now.
I believe that's how that's a good chance. I've done that before, maybe like once or twice, and also pretty much by fluke. I'll have to do it 100 times more before I actually can do that kind of dribble. But my saves is the one that's doing well at the moment this season. Nice. What the interception by Wishman. Luxem's looking for a West Brab demo. Nice second touch. Oh, fast aerial, not backflipping, working. That's success. Oops.
Oops, sorry.
No, he hasn't played in a while, so I guess he'll give you some space eventually. But it's the same thing with me, unlimited boost. It's my Achilles heel. If I can fly, I will fly. Nice challenge.
Close.
You kind of faked me there, I reckon. But also, I put my controller dodge dead zone so high now that I sometimes, my jump also don't always work. So it's either I don't push the stick above my threshold for the dodge zone, or the jump doesn't work twice. It just works one of the times. And then I don't front flip sometimes. But it's annoying. It will always backflip when it mustn't. Or dodge. That's what I often do also.
Yeah,
Dodge.
I'm a KBM player, so I usually have more problems with backflipping a lot, since I don't have dead zones or anything like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Right. And, well, there is a problem. You've got a problem with half flips? No, not really. But speed flips is a bit complicated.
I can see like speed flips being complicated and
But I mean for
difficult
you.
on no, not really. It's pretty easy actually. You just diagonal flip and yeah, you just
Oh, you
diagonal
just press
flip and
down.
then
Oh,
like
it's diagonal down also.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's easy and it's precise because it's
Yeah.
like 45 and 45 down. All right, of course.
yeah, exactly. It's easier to be on keyboard and doing speed flips. Yeah.
Right. Because I have practiced before and so on, and then when I realized or I found out that front flipping, you need to accelerate and also pitch forward.
Oh.
Because I changed my pitching to mouse movements, the X and Y axis ones. And then I was like double jumping in the game, and I'm like, why is it not flipping? I'm pressing W, but W is just accelerate instead of also tilting forward.
Yeah.
And I think I did that for reasons I can move the mouse forward to do the flip as well. But obviously I don't know, I don't play keyboard and mouse, so I forgot about that. And also, I don't have enough desk space to maneuver my hand around like that. But it was...
I could never see me myself pull something like that off, like putting pitch on mouse, because I don't know, it seems unnatural for me.
Yeah,
I just play default.
Default, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people, I would have to get, I haven't played shooter games in a while, so I would probably be able to do it now, but the first time in the beginning, I jump has to be spacebar. I'm so used to spacebar being jump. So that's the only awkward one. But I mean, you can just get the muscle memory and train again, same as controller. I've only used controller since I played Rocketeer.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. I've tried playing controller and it's just very awkward on the racket, especially.
And the other thing, of course, is I haven't played shooters in a long time, so when I played keyboard and mouse, when controller was not working or whatever reason, my forearm gets like tired. It's like that burning sensation of the muscle working. The muscle on top of your arm, before your elbow. Because I'm holding W in. I'm so out of practice of that. It will get sore like within a match. Match or two. But yeah, the access flying thing is, I just tried because I thought maybe it's easier to air roll or fly with that. I was just checking it out. But I guess if I will practice keyboard and mouse, I will probably reset it to default. Or ask Wish, I will probably go check out what they say on YouTube and try them all and change it all the time.
Yeah.
I had a very bad rank, D rank, somewhere in before season 4 even. But it was close enough in the beginning, but I changed keybinds twice. But also camera settings, and I didn't even realize camera settings was that intense. As in, you are missing the ball because you're not seeing the card the same as usually. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that back then. We all usually just click auto here.
Sorry?
No, yeah, I say when it's asking now, it's funny, they always give us this field a lot, even on random. We just click auto, usually.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, cool. Sometimes we play this settings, this unlimited and first to 7, but also the goal respawn, the ball respawn on 0. And we call it Go Go Brazil. Okay, he's on a phone call. Oh, my man. Oh, sorry. Is my scuffed half flip was working? Is you on call now while playing or are you playing? He's... You know you can the sound, but yeah. You probably mute the sound and use the phone, earphones, put the phone down. Ooh. Okay, let's go! Oh. Nice shot. Close one. This is Rocket League. It's the new meta, crossbar down. Nice. Oh, close. Is he in the listening channel?
I got.
The Blixem. Yeah, no, I was just checking if he was in the voice channel. He said, otherwise, I can't speak to him or say anything that he doesn't hear. It's pointless and confusing you guys, probably.
Nah, it's fine. I'm chilling.
Oh, recovery, that's great. Oh, nice.
Nice ball.
No, I actually went for the, the interception. Oh, thank goodness. And recovery in the goal. If I hit it there, it was probably better.
Yeah, saving is like basically trying to get the ball into corner or something like that. Just away from people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Damn. Unfortunate.
Oh, that's close. Yeah, you see the ball?
Yeah. Maybe we can. That must clear. Oh, I'm awkward. Shit, my bad. Close.
Whoa! My bad.
Close, close.
That's an unfortunate challenge.
Yeah. Oops.
I was just typing there, like, also get the lag thing now and again, but mine is my frames. My computer, I drop frames every now and again for some reason, and then special kickoffs or something. I think it's when it's loading new special effects or it's my boost and stuff, and then my frames drops to 60 or something, or in the red, and then it's almost like rubber banding, teleporting.
I see.
And on kickoff, that's the worst. Because you'd be turning,
Yeah, well,
you'd be turning, and then all of a sudden you're not in line with the ball anymore, or you're going.
yeah.
And then you overcompensate. Then, ooh, bad. I'll have a setup there.
That happened to me last night. Usually when I'm dropping frames, it's usually when the game is in borderless mode and not full screen.
Yeah, I do realize. I think I am in full screen now, but I did also pick that up also a bit late in my career here with this game. That it actually does make a hell of a difference. But it's my graphics settings are probably just too high or something at the moment. But my frames is scoping in general, so it's okay. You know, I'm not playing esports. I'd rather make it look prettier for stream maybe, or for recordings. And then I've got some other issue, but that hasn't happened in a while. That's my OBS. Oops. Oh man.
Oh, damn.
I even oops before I even went.
Yeah.
I think I realized I jumped at the wrong time or wrong place. Is my OBS it has an encoder fail. Encoding overload, and then it goes completely whack, glitch, 0 frames, and then like it's close. Then it's pretty much unplayable for 2 seconds.
I see, that's
And I have changed my settings a bit. I'm lucky that I can stream even while playing, because I'm on a gaming laptop. And it's only a GTX 1660. Whoa, what a jump, or was that by accident? I came for a demo.
I was trying to dribble, but I didn't warm up in free play, so it's kinda tough for me to do any mechanic, really.
No, I hear you, but I was gonna demo you and you jumped perfectly for me to miss you.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
So you probably went for the flick to avoid the demo and get the shot out. Oh, that one. Sweet! Laxam. That guy's name is kind of a curse word in Afrikaans.
The what?
His name is a cross of a curse word and also of lightning. A lightning strike. Bliksemstraal is a lightning strike, but bliksem is also just a type of a curse word.
Alright.
So I just went bliksem.
Interesting.
Like, damn it. Or dash it, I guess, is a good one also. Keep it clean.
I don't think too many people on YouTube would understand what it says anyway, so I think that's fine.
Sure. That's why I explained it to you, but only because I said it.
I see.
As an exclamation.
Alright.
And then I also realized, but he can't even hear it, so he's the only one that would have found the joke funny. So I decided to explain to you.
Alright.
I'm a bit tweaked.
Nah, you're good. I wish I was as well.
Going up for this. Oh, missed it. Oh, nice touch. Missing. I should not miss those. Oh, bad touch. Oh, nice.
Nice, let's go.
Quickly. Now we've got another 2 teammates. One is still big on training on keyboard and mouse, and the other guy is like close to champ, or he got champ rewards last season, and he does that shit all the time successfully. And he's very fast on the ball. You can quickly react, and he will get the ball and stop it and play it. Oh, bad. I must just not spam boost so much and be more patient even.
Yeah. Plus.
I bumped him a bit.
Nice pass.
Sweet. Thanks.
No
Thanks.
worries.
Sui is actually wish was better. He kept it going because when we started playing back in the day, or when we became club match co-founders, I guess, and friends, he was always wondering what is the Sui until we eventually googled it because it was big 2-3 years ago. 4 years, I don't know how long it is now. It was big and people just chatted all the time. Sui, and then we eventually googled it to find out like are they swearing me or cursing me in some language or what?
Nah, it's just a meme.
Yeah. But it is was that soccer player that's doing some kind of a prayer, grateful, thank you, religious thing. But then sometimes even if we score a goal, but we've been losing all night, and it's like or if he thinks I am throwing and not playing well against him in once.
Nice save.
Wait. Away is also like a cool, but also a greeting and a hello and how are you? Afrikaans slang. Or South African slang. You can away everything. Oh, close.
Oh, damn, unfortunate.
That was close, but I was gonna come and take care of that.
Yeah, I seen you back there.
Speed flip again.
Nice.
I've told Wish, like I've picked up it in ones, mostly in ones, but any game really, but it's more important in ones that you, even if you succeed in half a speed flip or like kind of successful against golds and flats, it's not beneficial because they still win the kickoff because of the delay. And I've noticed people with bad things like 200 or whatever, if they're from India or from further, it's funny countries. It's like, I would say like Jordan and Egypt or countries like that. It's the player type that's so adamant like and sweating like that. They do weird kickoffs, like they'll jump in the air long before the
Yeah.
ball, so that if you do win them purely by ping, they get the 50. They get. Nice. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Oh, damn close. It's fine.
Oh, pass to them, set up. Oh, my
Shit,
bad.
my bad.
Nah,
Nah, that's on me. I was the one to clear it.
I was supposed to go to the corner, dude.
It's fine, you'll get there.
It's taking a while. I see, I did put my hours up there. I thought it was longer, so I'm not feeling so bad anymore. If I need 4,000 hours, then 1,600 hours is not so bad.
Yeah. I should be around like 1600 as well. Yeah.
It's like, I can't remember now. I hope I did the calculations right. It's a couple of days, like 67 or something.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I may have that. Yep.
Nice.
Nice pass.
Ah, it's 50. I wish he's either on the phone or he is, think I was gonna work that.
Yeah.
Back.
Yep. Oh, close.
I reacted too slow and I saw you bumped it on. If I just went naturally and understood that I'm back was gonna be a pass, it was more of a safety net.
Close.
Hey,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we've seen his Dueling Dragons. Oh, and Interstellar. I'm gonna check now. Oh, this kid is pretty good. Never back down. You're going for dinner now.
Oh shit. That's my bad.
No, no worries.
I missed my. Yeah. I missed my wave dash and yeah, the rest is history.
That's how I feel about some of my things. I still don't even wave dash because I don't. It does. It's again. It's not so easy. I don't know when to press the jump or not the jump. Is it just the jump or must you press forward to flip when you land and then I do somersaults rolling forward and it's just too difficult.
Yeah, it's just flipping when your back wheels touch the ground.
Yeah, but so does that mean you have to press forward again, which is also meaning accelerate and put the thing forward and then and double jump, or just jump once?
No, it's just flipping basically. So
yeah, but flipping is
pressing
double
forward. Double jump.
To do you must press jump twice and press forward, or is that's a flip? Right?
Yeah, technically.
So if you land on your back wheels and you press forward and jump, then you must do a double jump, or do you just press jump once?
You press jump once, and when your rear wheels touch the ground, you basically flip forward. Yeah.
So, well, you press forward and then you press jump twice again, because that's what the flip is. But I think I've done it by just jumping once. Pressing jump once. I mean, you jump like this and then, like there, I basically did it. Because I think that the flip is the confusing part, I think. And nobody is explaining it to me ever, like whether you must press jump twice or just once. Oh! That's the best double I've done.
Yeah, I feel that, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but showing is not the point, never back down. I just want to know if I must press a double jump when I land with my back wheels or whether I must press jump once. Looking is not good. Looking is just gonna make me see you do a wave dash. Okay, so when you land with your back wheels, what do you do in sequence? You press forward. Because I just see you doing a wave dash. It's not helping me much. You just tell me the sequence. You press forward and you press jump twice. Or do you press jump once when you land?
You jump twice.
You jump
but the
once,
second...
like to tilt back, and then you land. So when you land, you press forward, and you press jump again, or you press twice jump.
You press jump once.
With one jump, I can do that. Okay, but that was also just one jump, but that was just wrong. See, there I didn't do a double jump. Oh, but the wave dash is slower. So you must probably double jump. You must probably double jump, because if I press it once, it's just slower. Check, this is not a wave dash.
Yeah, you just did it.
So that's just jump once.
Yeah, jump once and then jump the second time while holding forward.
But no, but I did yeah, but okay, forget the first jump. This is one jump. But now since the jump, since it's so delayed, it isn't a flip anymore to do a double jump. Because it's just, that's a jump and then that's a jump. So there's a jump and a jump.
Yeah, jump and a jump.
So the second jump is what I was always wondering is, if you press forward, because people say flip, and do a flip, you must press forward and double jump to do that. So must you land and then do a double jump, because then you do this roly-poly thing. So people have just been explaining it really wrong.
Or it could just be the way you're looking at it. Could also be that.
And then there's the other funky one is you can tilt forward also. What do they call that one? If you dash off the wall, basically. This was that one also. That's how I've started kind of doing it, because it's easier. It's also just a wave dash. I think it's got a special kind of name, I think. But that's easier. But it also works, because you're going down and then with the jump, you cancel out your inertia or something, and then it forces the car to go forward or bounce back, go forward. Anyway, okay, so it's just one jump. I will practice like that, and I did it a couple of times, so that's good to know. Then I can also be faster. Maybe one day.
Yeah. Alright, so continue now, or?
Yeah, cool. Sorry, listen.
Nice shot.
Close save. And then just a heads up, never back down is pretty good.
Yeah, I can see their mechanics. What rank?
I actually forgot. I think I guessed him at Diamond 3 in...
Wine?
I thought it was Diamond 3s. In 3s, unless that was for that other guy. What's your ones rank?
Mine?
Well, yours too. Are you unranked?
My...
Yours, yeah?
No, I'm not on...
Yeah, I was reading now.
Never. Oh. Yeah.
Wow. But he does play privates, so... I don't know. Play casual ones. Oh, right. I should play more casual ones before I play ranked ones, because sometimes I get tilted, or if I feel the game is scanning me, then I'll just quit. And then I don't make even the ranks, the MMR back that I lost. That's bad. Oh, bad shot.
Close.
Good pass. And so what's your you obviously still warming up and fooling around, so I can't judge your rank really.
Well,
I
I'm
guess
not playing my best this week.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
why I
but-
can't really guess. But I'm guessing you're probably like a champ. I don't know where in champ.
Yeah, Champ 1, Champ 2, somewhere around there, in 2s.
Right. And 2 is also your preferred. Like most people.
Yeah, exactly.
More space. Oh, nice. I prefer any mode if I play
I
good.
just passed.
Once just gets a bit boring sometimes. Then I won't play. But sometimes if I'm playing good or after we played, our friends played and stuff, I'll go do a rank game or two. Or just for training, obviously.
Yeah.
Some 12-year-old told me in the beginning when I was still bronze. I don't know, I think I got him an Xbox chat or something looking for party, and then he wanted to play some matches, but he was from USA. And I didn't know nothing about ranks even. And then he kind of destroyed me, but subtly. And then he asked me to guess his rank, and I didn't know what, so I guessed wrong. And but he was a grand champ. And he just told me, just go make your car look nice. You must like the colors and the preset. You play better and go play lots of ones.
Nice pass. Yeah, I mean, setting your colors and stuff like that is just about preference, but it can
for sure.
make you more.
But subliminally,
It can make you more confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know I'm annoyed if I've got the wrong boost on or if I don't like my wheels and it annoys me that I don't get to play the game properly.
Yeah.
Unless I have to go and fully grind and it's life or death, but I've seen. No, it's not. No!
I'm not Croatian, I'm from Czech Republic. Close though.
Check. Did you say it again or were you watching stream?
I'm watching the chat and
No. I was asking. Never mind, actually. If he's because he wasn't here yet when you said check, and I'm curious if he saw it on stream or whether you said it again at some point. Nice. Ah.
Close.
Okay, are we gonna come back here? Let's try. Let's try a comeback.
Let's see it.
I went to.
Close.
I saved. Oof.
Nice.
That was my bad. I should probably have rotated there, but the ball was open. I'm gonna bump it in. And you were closer. It's not you. Never. NBD. Never say never.
How about we try a 3v1? Because why not?
We can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, we can. I was just saying that I'm thinking me and Never Back Down didn't really try this round much. We definitely didn't try hard. But if you need competition, I guess we can do 3v1.
Oh damn. That's an.
No,
it's not.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? I'm just interested in seeing how I'll do. Not necessarily trying to win or anything.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. My rank in those is Champ 1 currently. I almost got into Champ 2. But
Nice.
this week I've been playing pretty bad. So yeah, I take a lot of breaks.
That's a good thing also. I probably don't. Only this week I've played some Counter-Strike when I got too tilted. I'm like, let me go shoot some people.
Nice.
Skill raining. Oh, I was ready up my bed.
That's fine.
And then I also haven't played that in a while, and I asked the guys, like, yo, there's maps has changed. I see they've changed that one sniper tunnel. They've closed off a breach between two buildings. You can't see down the whole passage. And I'm like, when did this change? They're like, what? When last did you play? 2 years ago.
I feel that. Though I don't really play Counter-Strike. It's never been too interesting to me.
Yeah, I just played it for the sake it runs properly and it's quick to get into. Okay, I have a quick game, you know, and it's competitive. I guess that's why I like Rocket League. But yeah, I have since I'm on the wrong side.
It's fine.
Since Rocket League, I haven't played any other game actually.
Yeah, I usually just play Rocket League or VR Chat or something like that.
Or what's that one you said?
VR Chat. I have a VR headset.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I've played a lot of Fortnite before this, and not a lot, but kind of a lot. Before Rocket League went free. And I used to play strategy games a lot. I didn't get into League of Legends in time, but I will still play it. I've tried Valorant, I will still play that also if one day. But I should be playing, I want to play Godfall, because I've got to download it and I got it. Never played Godfall. Like single player games with storylines. Also GTA. Oh, nice, Vicky. All the Lara Croft games, I haven't played any of them. He's gonna have to play your side because four is the bit crazy. If you want,
yeah.
If you want the handicap, I must join your side.
It's fine. Oh wow, 4v1? That's yeah. That wouldn't be too fun.
Oh. Oh. But I was trolling there bad. Nice bomb.
Close.
Got it. Bad takeoff. Nice. Oh, straight at him. Bumped him. Close. There's that front dodge thing that I was failing. Oh!
Nice, let's go.
Maybe if I aerial, but yeah. at the last minute. I guess I had no time there. Nice shot, great pass.
Oh well, that happened.
That does happen. Oh my bad, I was ball chasing, sorry, never mind. And we just showed me, that's why you don't ball chase. Rotate. Oh,
Nice
what a
shot.
shot.
Holy. Nice.
Oh,
Close.
I didn't see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't see me either. I'm not gonna lie. I was just there.
I thought, yeah, you get from the ceiling. I didn't expect. I was checking out Wish and I'm like, I'm gonna beat into this area.
Yeah.
I wasn't keeping tabs on where did this guy go. I just thought on the wall, recovering or rotating back or something. Nice.
Oh, why did I? Damn. Not bad.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God, just bounced over my car. My bad. Shouldn't be backflipping there. A reaction. Panic. Okay, I did. For the record, Wish, I did not. I focused on not trying to hit the ball, just with a nippy to strike it. It's good to see I didn't whiff it. Oh, nice shot.
Thanks.
I will miss even doubles like that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, well, it's normally not so close to post. I'll rather try the pinch, soft pinch for a pass. Oh, it's unfortunate.
Close. Yeah.
What back post? I should have done back post is on the other side. I could have saved it then maybe. It's just in the air.
Sorry. Oh damn. Holy shit, nice shot. Close.
Not again.
Nice save.
Oh, but at least I didn't whip it. No.
Oh damn, that's best. My bad. That's bad.
I just pretended like I knew it was not going to go in. Did it
second
attempt
shot I
to
missed.
That's right, the pressure is on.
Yeah.
Plus you have to calculate me randomly saving. Great. Nice. No, okay, thanks. Wish also panicking. Nice. At this match point, we have to get at least to overtime. Nice, Blixo.
We're not getting into overtime because match length is unlimited, so...
Yeah,